Let's explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Consider myself a conspiracy buff at all, but when they get a lot of coincidences, I get a little suspicious and call me crazy.
Polls, weird talk shows, crazy groups every Sunday telling you what you think.
The Republicans and the Democrats conspire with one another, which they do.
There is a conspiracy by big business against American democracy.
We know that there was a conspiracy.
There was a conspiracy.
There was no conspiracy.
Was there a conspiracy?
A communist conspiracy directed out of Moscow.
The right-wing conspiracy.
Communist conspiracy is a deliberate and predictable plan of action to subvert the world.
Right-wing conspiracy.
International criminal conspiracy.
Vast right-wing conspiracy.
Great conspiracy.
There are all these conspiracy theories.
Was there a conspiracy? I don't know.
Perhaps themselves even involved in the conspiracy.
There was a conspiracy.
No evidence
of a conspiracy.
Anybody would have to be a fool nowadays to dismiss conspiracies.
Conspiracy theory.
Cockeyed conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory exists because there really is conspiracy.
But they never told a soul about it. In fact, they engaged in a vast conspiracy.
Since you get accused of being a conspiracy theorist, of being a paranoid.
The historical context of actual conspiracy.
A conspiracy of bad people.
As always happens at some point in a conspiracy. One night, Cousin Eddie got drunk in a honky-tonk and spilled the beans.
There was a conspiracy and government was involved in it.
Conspiracy existing within the United States government.
There was a conspiracy.
A
conspiracy by the CIA.
The conspiracy of a few.
Dark, secretive, conspiratorial, evil.
Then it was certainly a deliberate conspiracy.
high-level conspiracy.
The do's and the don'ts and the rights and the wrongs of the various conspiracy theories that are good.
Possibility of a conspiracy.
In a moral sense, I think it was a conspiracy.
One conspiracy, that's all I'm talking about.
Full of speculation, conspiracy theories, and the like. And what's going on here?
You began to wonder what was really happening in America. I mean, was there a vast conspiracy afoot?
You know, there could have been a conspiracy.
Do you think you're obsessed with conspiracy?
Conspiracy theory.
A conspiracy.
I'm afraid you'll catch me. I'm afraid you'll catch me.
A conspiracy would do the job nicely.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your favorite Monday night show, your favorite conspiracy show, maybe even your favorite show all around, Baseless Conspiracies. Zach, how are you doing, sir?
John, I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty damn good, honestly. It's that time of year. It's cold, but I didn't have to shovel today, so that was a win. Kids' Christmas concert is tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Very cool.
Actually, you know what did suck today is... It's kind of a long. Oh, it's not really, I can make it short. Yesterday, I was out at the store. My kids FaceTime me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get you guys your shoes for your Christmas concert." And so my daughter, like, I'm showing her these shoes, and she picks one because it's like sitting out there, right, on display. She picks it. I was like, "Okay, we'll do this one." And then I go and try to find the other shoe or the box it came from, and I can't find it anywhere. Like me and my girlfriend, we went through Kohl's all over the place trying to find this other shoe, and apparently some amputee came in and bought a shoe and left the other one because he didn't need it or something because it didn't exist. And so today, after picking my kids from school, we went again and we spent like 2 hours trying to find that shoe. Couldn't find that pair of shoes anywhere. So we ended up having to settle for something we could have got at the first store. And I could have went like not even showing my kids the shoes and just picked something out and saved myself 2 hours. But whatever. That's the only shitty part about my day. The rest has been fantastic.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Sorry for my rant.
It's all right. It's all right. What's funny is that, I mean, like, having worked at Journeys for a period of time, I mean, like, I've been in that position where you go to where the shoe is supposed to be and it's just simply not there. Like, somebody has screwed up. Maybe it got thrown out. Maybe it got marked down and sent back to the company or something like that. But yeah. Very frustrating.
One shoe?
One shoe. Yeah. I mean, it can happen. It can happen.
How? Because though? Like, there's no logical explanation unless somebody like took the shoe and like put it on the other side of the store.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, sometimes a random shoe will get put in the wrong box. You have shoes that don't sell, and if you put them on sale and you try to get rid of them and you don't get rid of them, then the company will have you send them back, because then they'll be taken off of your books. Okay, like otherwise, if you just have inventory sitting on the shelf that isn't selling, it counts against you. So the company will take that back. They will take a markdown on the corporate books, and then your store will appear to be more successful than it actually is, or it'll make it even. But but yeah, so sometimes a box gets destroyed, a shoe gets lost, you got kids working for you and they don't really know what they're doing, and so there's any number of things that can happen. But theoretically, it's not supposed to happen. So I understand your frustration.
Yeah, it was very frustrating, and I feel like I personally let my daughter down, but it wasn't even my fault at all. It was Cole's fault, and I feel like I need to file a complaint or something. I mean, whatever. Sparkly white shoes to match her white Christmas concert outfit. It's just so dumb. I can't. Whoever. I just want to know. I want to know. I'm so curious what happened to that other shoe. It's gonna haunt me. It's been haunting me since yesterday.
There's a show that I want you to watch. It's on HBO and it's called The Chair Company.
Why?
Because I think it'll resonate with you. So there's this guy, and he works for a company that is like building a new mall in like Cleveland, Ohio.
And what a shitty place to build a mall.
I know. Have you ever seen I Think You Should Leave on Netflix?
No.
With Tim, I can't remember his last name.
Yeah.
Anyways, so if you should probably watch I Think You Should Leave because it's hilarious. Anyway,
I was supposed to watch The Chair.
The Chair Company is by the same guy. Okay. Sets it up. The type of comedy sets it up. But anyways, in The Chair Company, he gets promoted. He gets the big job. He's like running the project to build this new mall, and they're doing an event for him, and they're introducing him and announcing that he's now taking over this project. And after he says a few words, he goes and sits in this office chair. As soon as he sits in the office chair, the whole thing falls apart. It collapses. He's embarrassed in front of the entire company, and he's laying on the ground, and there's this woman standing above him, and he sees up her skirt, and she's like, oh. And anyways, it like sets off a chain of events, and he becomes obsessed with the idea of figuring out why the chair collapsed, and he believes that it's a conspiracy. And he has to go track down the company. It's like the greatest comedy of errors, and over like the most benign stuff. It's hilarious.
I doubt I'm going to check that movie out, but
it's a show.
The show. I am curious. Your reaction from the guy seeing up the girl's shirt now. Is he gay or something?
No. I can't give it all away. It's like totally innocent. Like he doesn't mean to look up her skirt. She's just standing there. The chair collapses. That sets off a chain of events. Like human resources has to get involved because she says that he did it on purpose, and he's like, it was an accident and my chair collapsed. What was I supposed to do? I'm just looking up and she's standing there. I mean, like it's totally innocent, and everything that happens is just hilarious. Hang on, let me figure out his last name again because he's so funny.
Yeah, and super important. I'm probably gonna remember it tomorrow. I don't know if I can do the rest of the show without knowing this guy's last name. So
Tim Robinson is his name.
Tim Robinson, isn't that the guy from like the UK?
No. I mean, Tim Robinson is not like a super uncommon name. So no, he's definitely American. And you know that clip, like, you sure about that? You sure about that?
No, I've not.
You've never seen. Oh my God.
Sorry, bro.
I play it on my show all the time.
I don't think you played it once on this show. So
no, I've never played it on this show. It's like loaded in my OBS. So anyways,
yeah, okay. Well,
Tim Robinson. I should find a
Tommy
sketch.
Robinson. That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay, Tommy Robinson. Yeah, not the guy who talks about Muslims. No, he's a comedian. He's a comedian.
Is he the only guy that talks about Muslims? Is that what he's known for?
No. But Tommy Robinson is known for being like an anti-Muslim activist, basically. I mean, not just, that's oversimplification of it, but I mean, he's called out the pedophile gangs and stuff like that. I mean, Tommy's a good dude. I've had him on my show before. He's real down to earth.
Yeah, hasn't he been arrested by like his government a bunch of times?
Oh, absolutely. They hate him. They hate him because there's a bunch of Muslim extremists that have infected the government of the UK. We could get arrested just for saying that if we were in the UK.
Well, this is why I don't even have a passport. I'm never leaving this country because of the things I've said in this country where I'm supposedly, allegedly allowed to say it. I feel like I would get arrested immediately if I ever get into another country. We have somebody new to Badlands here in the chat. Tal RDHD27. Welcome. We like our newcomers. Don't forget to hit the follow button.
Oh, welcome.
What do you say, man? We get a quick word in from our sponsors.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if there's anything we want to talk about. I think the only thing we shouldn't talk about is the Emerald Robinson thread because I feel like I've talked enough about that. And
you buried yourself with this Emerald Robinson shit.
I've buried myself with shit, man. I am right about that thing. But people don't like it when I'm right. So we'll skip that tonight and we'll pick up talking about Emerald Robinson tomorrow. You know what? We could have been done talking about the Emerald Robinson thread the day she started the thread if she would have finished the thread as you're supposed to do with a Twitter thread. Instead, she's dragging this on for a month. It's not my fault. It's her fault. But anyway, then if you guys want to talk about anything else, we can, and then we'll get back into the conspiracy where we left off last week.
Yeah, we're going to round off our conversation tonight talking about the elite human hunting gangs and specifically a couple of pieces.
Basically.
Say what?
GART 11.
Yeah, GART 11, the most dangerous GART. Couple of testimonies from some pretty well-known whistleblowers. Fiona Barnett.
Never heard of her.
Okay, well, she's an Australian woman who accused Nicole Kidman's father, Anthony Kidman, of abusing her in like an MK Ultra elite Australian pedophile grooming group. And then, of course, we've also got Kathy O'Brien we're going to be talking about as well. And some other stuff.
I am aware of Kathy.
Yeah.
So that's good. You're like 1 for 12 tonight on names that you mentioned that I'm familiar with. So
it's okay. I don't hold it against you.
I feel like we're off to a good start. Scheisler, any news on the next GART? No, not yet. But
I mean, besides the elite human hunting aspect of it,
we got the theme down. We just haven't figured out a location where we can safely pull it off. No, GART 11, the quarter quell. That's a good one too. That's awesome. I did get a message from Miss Bright semi-recently discussing venues, so that's a good sign. We do still plan on holding one. It'll probably be in March as we typically do it, but we'll just stay tuned. It's coming soon. Let's get a quick word from our sponsors and then we'll get right into it. First up, we got a little Black Friday deal from Rise Attire.
Cheers, Badlanders. Ready to stuff your stockings with some new streetwear that'll really get the jimmies rustling? The holidays are here, and so is the new Rise Badlands collection, just in time to go walking in a winter wonderland. No matter where you're from, we're all Badlands natives with these brand new threads. Show up with the purtiest ugly sweater at the party with the Badlands Christmas collection, or make your favorite Badlander buddy feel all warm and fuzzy with a variety of plush and Sherpa blankets to choose from. Plus, you can stack the classics under the tree, deck the halls with Devolution, rock around the Christmas tree with Rushmore, or have yourself a merry little clown world. Everything we do is custom made from scratch by the elves at our East Peoria, Illinois facility, who are all legal U.S. citizens. But the process takes time, so don't wait. Grab your gear today at badlandsmedia.tv/rise. Under the tree and over the target.
Yeah, your wife points out that Mrs. Bright is still taking location ideas because she doesn't have any ideas. So if you have suggestions, as always, be sure to email her. She really appreciates all your suggestions. We do have another sponsor. I'm wondering if we should do it now or if we should wait a little bit.
Let's do it right now, because once we get into this stuff, it's going to be really dark and it's going to be an odd segue.
Yeah, especially because it's like the chef man IQ and
yeah.
You know. Okay. Well, we'll do it right now then. So guys, you can thank me later. I just did all your holiday shopping for you. Forget the panic shopping. Everything you need for all those loved ones in your life is at Chef Man. Got the perfect list for you. And with promo code Baseless, you can save 30% on everything. And here's the lineup. You got an indoor pizza oven. Forget that delivery. With one touch presets, you'll get authentic restaurant quality pizza in minutes. Crispy cut, gooey cheese every time. Perfect for family nights or game day gatherings. There's also the Obliterator blender, not just powerful, but smart. Toss in fruits, veggies, ice, even nuts. It crushes everything. Auto blend technology senses your ingredients and adjusts speed for silky smoothies, creamy shakes, and even hot syrups. No guesswork, just perfection. And for some extra holiday fun, the Slushie Maker. Turn any party into a hit. Kids love the colorful slushies. My kids, big fans, especially in the summer. We did a stretch of like a month and a half where we had a new flavor slushie every single night. It was awesome. They loved that thing. Adults love the frozen cocktails. It's easy to use, easy to clean, and you can make it your new holiday tradition. And my personal favorite, guys, the brand new ice cream maker. This isn't just ice cream. It's ice cream, frozen yogurt, sorbet, sherbet, Italian ice, all from your own kitchen. Customized flavors, control ingredients, and serve up happiness in just minutes. Everyone will ask for seconds. Why settle for ordinary when you can make extraordinary? Bring home the fun, the flavor, the memories. Visit chefman.com and make this holiday unforgettable. Hop on over to chefman.com, check everyone off your list, save 30%, and watch them unwrap gifts they'll actually use. Chefman.com/baseless and promo code baseless for that discount and an easy way to support Badlands Media.
So I literally just got a notification from my mailbox today that something arrived. And if it's that ice cream maker, I'm going to die.
You can all rest assured that Zach will be alive come tomorrow, because I don't think it's that, as far as I know. You are at no risk of death, Zach. So,
that's so great.
Hey, now I know what to get you for Christmas.
Oh, man. All right. So I really just had like one more crazy story from America that I wanted to go into. Another young man. See, okay, so there's kind of a theme when it comes to people going missing. So either they're locked up, so they're sort of in a position of weakness. Somebody else has control over them, or it tends to happen when they're in like an isolated area. All right. Now, this case is a young man by the name of Ryan Singleton. And on July 9th of 2013, Ryan Singleton, who at that time was 24 years old, he was a model actor, kind of a Zoolander type guy. And he was living out west. And
I gotta see what this guy looks like.
Okay, hold on.
Zoolander type guy.
Let me pull up a picture.
What was his name?
Ryan Singleton. Hold on. I got a great picture here. It's actually like a collage of him and his mom and his funeral announcement and one of his modeling shots. There you go. See, if that's not a blue steel look right there in the upper right hand corner, I don't know what is.
Is this him doing a whiteface?
What? I don't know anything about him doing a whiteface.
Hold on, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Is that him?
No. That's him on the right. I don't think that's him on the left. Maybe that's a different Ryan Singleton, but those are two different guys. So I don't know. Either way.
Okay.
On July 9th.
Nobody looks like. Let's continue.
So on July 9th, 2013, Ryan called a friend in Los Angeles, and he asked him to pick him up in Baker because he was driving a rental car to Las Vegas. And once he got to Baker, well, first of all, the rental car broke down when he was basically out in the middle of the California desert, Baker, California. And the car broke down. He was at a gas station. He was able to make it to there. He called his friend and he says, "Come from LA, pick me up. We'll go to Vegas together." So his friend ends up arriving in Baker. He's unable to find Ryan. He looks around for him. He asks around. Nobody has seen him. And he ends up driving back to Los Angeles. And once he gets there, the next day, he files a missing persons report. So according to the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department and the coroner's report for Ryan's body 2 months later in September 13th of 2013, Ryan's remains were found by two men who were hiking in the desert near where Ryan had last been seen and where he called his friend and told him to come pick us up. Now, from the coroner's report, most of the ribs on the left side of his body had been moved away from the body, and it appeared that the thoracic organs were missing, along with the thoracic musculature. So no internal organs of the chest, of the abdomen, of the pelvis, everything had been taken out of his body. Now, you might think 2 months later, well, maybe he had been eaten by coyotes or something like that, or maybe some other predatory animal had come by and just feasted upon Ryan's body as he was laying dead in the desert. But the other thing about it is that there was no animal activity. There was no secondary animal activity. He was just surgically cleaned out. And his cause of death, because it had been 2 months roughly since he had been laying out there in the desert, was listed as undetermined. So what they have determined is that on or around the day that he called his friend, July 9th, he had been found walking along Interstate 15. There were two highway patrolmen who came upon him after his car had broken down. They picked him up and they dropped him off at this convenience store in Baker. First, they drove him around and they tried to locate his rental car because they were going to help him get his car fixed. But his car was missing when they went back to find it, which is very strange. So Ryan makes a purchase in the store. He walks out and then he disappears. It's assumed that when he went outside, that's when he must have called his friend and he must have, waited outside for him to come and pick him up. And for some reason in that intervening time, either he was picked up by somebody else, which doesn't make any sense for him to have gone with them willingly because he was waiting for his friend to arrive, or for some reason he goes on a walk out into the desert. Now, it's worth mentioning that the location where his body was found was not very far from where he had last been seen. So, his mother, essentially, after this strange disappearance had happened, and then he is determined to have had all of his internal organs and his muscles removed from his body. His mom obviously wants to get some answers. Now, she basically from the start assumed that he had been targeted for the removal of his organs. And she knows, she's always believed that there must have been foul play. I mean, simply because the condition of the body leads me to believe that there was definitely some foul play. Now, authorities told her that Ryan was seen on surveillance video making a purchase at the store, and then he walked outside. This was around 2:20 in the afternoon. And another thing to note, Baker, California, this is basically near the entrance to Death Valley in California. It's desert. There's no trees. It's desolate. So if he had simply walked out into the desert, he would have been seen like from a very far distance. I mean, the dude was 6'5". He's a black dude in the middle of a white desert walking around. People would have seen him, but nobody saw him. He simply walks out of the store. He vanishes, and that's it. Now, she said he was a fairly dark complexion. He was like chocolate. He was also in great physical shape. I mean, not only was he a model and an aspiring actor, but he was a lifeguard. He was from Georgia. And so he grew up doing physical activity. And his trip to California was only for the weekend. So he was expected to come back and, to be with his family.
This is allegedly a picture of Baker.
Yeah, it's a small, desolate area on the edge of Death Valley.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, tell you a little bit about Baker. There's only 735 people that live there. It's in San Bernardino County. It's about 200 miles from Los Angeles. And because it's kind of out there, and on the way to Las Vegas, it's a pretty common place for people to stop, to maybe. Well, yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, there's not all that many places when you're taking this route. I mean, it's a little place to get gas, to get some food, get something to drink. And like I said, 200 miles from LA, about 100 miles from Las Vegas. And let's assume that Ryan did go walk out into the desert for whatever reason. But the average temperature in July at that time can get up to 120 degrees or even higher. I mean, it's a harsh place for somebody to just go hang out and catch some rays in the middle of nowhere. So the missing persons report was filed the next day. When Ryan was reported missing, law enforcement from Barstow, which is a town that's close by here, they were originally assigned to the case, but because of where he was found, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department took over the investigation because it wasn't Barstow, it wasn't Baker any longer. It was, just inside the county lines. So there really is no other information that they were able to determine. Nobody came forward. Nobody said that they saw him. Nobody said that they had any contact with him other than this final call that had been made to his friend. There was nobody else. And
what gas station was he at?
I don't know the name of the gas station. I mean, I can't imagine there's all that many gas stations in a town of 735. It was,
Yeah, it's probably like right off the interstate too. It's probably
yeah.
You have the world's tallest thermometer. What a weird thing to be known for.
Well, it's in the middle of the Mojave and desert and Death Valley. So,
yeah.
Now, as far as I know, this case has never been closed because it's still officially open. The sheriff's office also, when attempted to reach for comment, has had a habit of not responding when it comes to questions about this case. And they've given precious little information to his mother as well. And because they don't have any specific information about the exact manner of death or, suspects that may be out there or even what happened to him, his mom was basically left in limbo and she couldn't get any other information. Now, in terms of the condition of his body, it wasn't just the things in his chest and the muscles. It was his eyes as well, which I suppose theoretically could have been eaten by like a bird of prey or carrion bird, like a vulture or crow or something like that. But I mean, everything else in his thoracic cavities, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, his intestines, but the rest of his body outside of that was like remarkably intact. Obviously, he had lost a lot of weight because he had been kind of drying out in the desert for some time. But, I mean, he was still dressed. He still had his shoes on. He still had his socks, his shorts. It's just, again, it's a very strange thing. Considering the location of where this happened and the circumstances surrounding it, the only thing that makes sense to me is that somebody, he was maybe being tracked already. When his car broke down, perhaps that was done intentionally. So then he starts walking into town. He gets picked up by the cops. They go back to get his car. His car is gone. Where would his car have gone? I mean, look at the Highway 15. It's just like a straight shot, right? So his car would have been on the side of the road. If somebody came and took his car, they must have gone in the other direction. They couldn't have passed him because he would have seen like a tow truck leaving with his car.
I did figure out it was this gas station, the Arco.
Okay. Arco. See, I've never even heard of an Arco.
I've heard of it. But yeah, that's a small one. Huh.
Yeah. And
what a shitty town.
And so I think that he goes in, he calls his friend, he comes outside, maybe there's a trucker or, some nefarious individuals who pull up. They know that he's going to be there because they know he doesn't have a car. Maybe they lure him into the vehicle or the cab of the truck. And then the next thing you know, he's taken to a discreet location to have all of his organs removed, and then they dump him out in the middle of the desert, not that far away from where he went missing. And knowing that because of the temperature and because of the climate, it's going to be a while before anybody finds him.
Yeah, there's a little news clip we could watch. Just start playing them here if you want. Seems to be a recent one. This article is from December of 2018. So
even still, that's a couple of years, 5 years after he went missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Faith, even years later, it's still a case that has a lot of public interest. Now, when Ryan was found, his eyes, heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys were missing. He had rented a car to drive from LA to Vegas, and after just a few hours into his drive, his car ran out of gas. That's when California Highway Patrol picked him up and drove him to a gas station. At that gas station was where he was last seen alive. 74 days later, his body was found 2 miles away, and years later, his family still doesn't know how he died.
There are a lot of questions and answers that I'm still seeking 6 years later for my son, Ryan.
It's something a mother should never have to do, bury her son.
They have not concluded a manner or cause of death. They listed as undetermined.
Iris Flores says her son's autopsy report left her with so many questions.
2 tattoos were cut off. According to the autopsy, it tells you that the flesh, there was one here behind his ear, and there was one here on his left shoulder, and it tells you that that flesh was missing.
Ryan Singleton left Georgia to chase his dreams. The journey captured on camera for a docuseries called Are We Famous Yet?
The inspiration for our docuseries was simple. It was Ryan. We wanted to document his journey and becoming a model.
And now that docuseries has turned into a tool to help solve the case.
He has a video diary that his gracious brothers, his producer brothers, are making into a docuseries so that we can let Ryan shed light on his own story, his own self.
My name is Ryan S., a.k.a. Shotzi, the model.
His own story and an investigation in his family's hands.
Some things I need to find out as well, so exhuming his grave would definitely give me some answers.
In the docuseries, Ryan's family sets out to find answers, which takes them all the way to Death Valley where Ryan was found. The family tells me they are still talking to different networks about the docuseries and hope that shining light on his story will help solve this case. In the newsroom, I'm Melvin Lopez, 11 Alive News.
So that was
Ron Sumrall. That could have been Florida State's head coach.
So that was interesting what she said about the tattoos being removed, because I was going to say the coroner's report had said that had not recorded any tattoos being on his body, which, you know, left a couple of different things. Either it's not Ryan's body or that it was just done in a sloppy manner. But I had not heard directly from his mother that the skin was actually missing. Now, another odd part about the report that was produced in regards to his disappearance, the names of the highway patrolmen that reportedly picked him up and dropped him off, those were never recorded. And there is apparently no body camera footage or no police highway patrol footage, which shows Ryan having been given a ride by these police. Now,
well, how did that ever make it into the story then?
Well, it was written down as part of the report, but they just never bothered to say who it was that actually picked him up, which, you know, obviously could have been done intentionally, left it vague, or perhaps it was simply made up. We don't know. It's just one of those mysteries. Now, although his rental vehicle was missing on the day that these highway patrolmen allegedly took him back to go get it, they did end up finding his car the day after he was reported missing. But here's the weird thing. It had been wiped clean of fingerprints, and his phone and his backpack were inside. When he was found, his body had another cell phone on it, and his wallet was in his pocket as well. Now, because his mom had to identify that this was her son's body, she did have to see his remains. They ended up sending them back to Georgia for her. And she paid for an independent medical examiner to perform another autopsy. And this medical examiner called her and said, you sent me this body and I put it in the ground. So what are you saying? Come pick up Ryan's remains because you had nowhere to store it. So essentially, instead of doing the autopsy, like it seems like this guy was like totally like messing with her. Like he didn't understand that she was hiring him to actually do an autopsy. It's a very strange account from his mother. Now she didn't have initially a copy of the original autopsy, and they made her come and pay for another copy. And the mortician, when they retrieved the body, it had the body in the bag. There were also the autopsy photos that were placed in the body bag, but they didn't put the actual autopsy results in there. They just gave her the pictures of it, which is also seems really, really strange. And eventually, you know, I mean, I feel like his mother never really got over it. I mean, every couple of years, it seems like there's just kind of an additional report of her coming out and saying, I still don't know what happened to my son. And it's been a couple of years since I saw something that had been written about it. But this is something that I read about, you know, probably around 2017 or 2018 for the first time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so is this like the latest big story of like this kind of organ harvesting thing? Like what made you choose this story?
Because it's so weird, because this guy shouldn't have gone missing in the middle of the desert right there in that place. And the fact that his organs had been completely removed along with all of his muscles, and he mysteriously went missing as he was waiting for somebody to come pick him up. This is not somebody who went walking off into the desert. I mean,
it's weird though, like that location, like I feel like it's like the hills have eyes. It's like the gas station, the pit stop before you go to the hills have eyes. Like that's a creepy little area.
It's the perfect place to pick somebody up. I mean, like, you know, in a place like that, you're probably going to have like drifters or lot lizards. You know what I mean? Like maybe like a prostitute who's looking to get a ride from a trucker or something. I think it would be an easy location to pick somebody up if you're looking to just grab a human being that somebody may not come to miss as much. There's a lot there are so many instances of people going missing off of highways all over the United States. And it's been theorized that there could be dozens of serial killers that are operating right now in the United States, like just simply driving big rigs because they can. I mean, it's the perfect cover, right? Because you're always moving. You're never going to be around for very long. You can grab somebody off the road. You can then dispose of their body someplace else. There's no connection to the people.
You put a lot of thought into this.
I have. Yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of research on serial killers. Like, I mean, not just for this, but I mean, just over the years.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
What does the FBI say that they, not that it matters, but they speculate there's like what, anywhere from, I shouldn't even spitball this. I should probably just look it up.
I'm just going to look it up. How many active? As many as 500.
Oh, I got a different number than you. The FBI estimates there are between 25 to 50 active serial killers in the United States at any given time.
Oh, I'm sorry. 500 maybe that they haven't been able to identify. But yeah, 20 to 50 active.
The most commonly referenced age range is 25 to 50. I mean, it kind of seems low, but maybe not. Did they ever catch that guy on the East Coast when we were there around Plymouth?
Not to my knowledge. No. Yeah, that's a wild one. All right, here's one more. This is in Peru. This took place in Peru. So a woman in Mexico met a guy online through an online dating site. Her name was Blanca Arellano. She was 51 years old. And after meeting this guy, having a whirlwind romance on the internet, and mind you, he's 37 years old, so he's a bit younger than her. And they allegedly fell in love online. And she tells her family, I'm going to travel the 3,000 miles to Lima, Peru, so that we can meet. We can spend a week together. And then I'll come back. And if things turn out well, then I'll let you know. So Blanca goes to meet her new boyfriend, Juan Pablo Jesus Villafuerte. And she had been talking to this guy for several months. So she felt like she knew him. And She had pictures of him. She knew about his work history. He was in medical school, and so she goes to Peru, and she had been there for I don't know, like a week or so, and she had been in regular contact with her family up until November 7th, and she had a final call with her niece, Carla. And she said that Juan Pablo had not raised any red flags. They were having a really good time, and he was really sweet to her, and that she thought that she was truly in love with him. And after a few weeks go by, her family starts to get worried that she hasn't checked in with her, and they reach out to Juan Pablo, and Juan Pablo says, "Oh yeah, Blanca and I got into an argument. She said that she didn't want to be with me anymore, and she left Peru, so she's gone. Haven't seen her." Well, the only problem is that Blanca's body washed up in pieces on the shore of the ocean, and when she washed up, guess what was missing?
What? Her organs?
Her internal organs. Yeah. So, when she had been found, she had her head removed. So everything had been cut up, but what they discovered on the beach was a head without a face, a single arm, and only the torso, with the organs having been surgically removed. So on November 17th, because the police were able to piece together with her family that he was the last person that had seen her alive, they arrested him for murder. And ultimately, it was determined that she had been killed for her organs. He was part of an organ harvesting network. Now, he was in medical school, and it appears that he was putting himself through medical school by dealing in the black market organ trade. And he, for his part, denied the entire thing and never admitted to what he was doing, but he was convicted regardless, because it was quite obvious he was the guy who had last seen her. He had the medical skills to be able to do it, and there you go. And as we have seen with these other cases, this is a person also traveling to a foreign country where they don't have a network of people. Perhaps
this is why I don't get why people even travel, even bother. Again, why I don't have a passport.
I don't either, and I would be totally concerned about it as well. But of course, I would never go to meet a random thought from the internet in another country.
Lisa would be so proud.
Yeah, it's often said that if a perfect 10 comes up to you in a bar, you're probably getting honeypotted, because you're not that good looking, you're not that funny, and you're definitely not rich enough for.
Speak for yourself, bro.
Well, okay, I forgot you're a multi-millionaire, John. Excuse me.
Multi-billionaire. Keep up with the
multi-billionaire. Soon to be a trillionaire.
Well, yeah, this is what I've been saying. Me and Elon Musk are on a race to become the world's first quadrillionaire.
Holy shit, I can't even imagine, dude.
Yeah. Did you see his clip, by the way? Not to totally derail the subject, but did you see his clip where he's talking about energy being the future of currency?
I did see it, but we can watch it if you want.
No, I don't have it ready or anything. I was just you brought up Elon Musk. I mean, I could probably find it. Take like 2 seconds.
I mean, it's a Bitcoin.
Yeah, I was just go to G Money's page, and sure enough, there it is, right near the top. Let me share my screen.
Currencies, if you will, that are physics-based. So energy is the true currency.
What's that filter?
Is based on energy. You can't.
What was that?
I said, what's up with that filter? He looks so soft and like much lighter than he normally does.
Yeah, my thing was like, why are there 3 cups on the table for 2 guys? Thought that was weird. His imaginary best friend is sitting there with him, but let's keep listening.
This is why I said Bitcoin is based on energy. You can't legislate energy. You can't just, pass a law and suddenly have a lot of energy. It's very difficult to generate energy, or especially to harness energy in a useful way to do useful work. So I think that probably we won't have money, and probably we'll just have energy, power generation as the de facto currency.
Energy power generation as the de facto currency.
It makes me think of that episode of Black Mirror where they're like living in those like 6x6 boxes and they get on stationary bikes all day.
I don't think I've seen that episode, so you just ruined it for me.
Okay, well, you figured that out pretty quickly, so I didn't really ruin anything. But you should.
Anyway, continue. What happens?
Well, they're just literally like harvesting tokens all day because their peddling produces energy, which is then used to mine. And then they can use those tokens to do things in this dystopian world.
Interesting. Do you have a Bitcoin miner? I want to get a Bitcoin miner.
I feel like the age of Bitcoin mining, easy Bitcoin mining, is over. I mean,
it definitely is. But just to participate in the network, get a node.
Wouldn't be bad.
Plus, if you happen to be the one lucky person out of however many there are, that's like 3.25 Bitcoin.
It is true. It is true. Yeah. I've definitely thought about it, but the rate of technology, first of all, it's like not cheap to build a miner, and and just the speed with which the technology basically is obsolete is pretty quick. So if you're not making a bunch of money with it, you're basically using what money you make. If you build one miner, you need like a whole garage full of miners, basically.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
Either way, I mean, it might be totally worth it, but I don't have the disposable income to build Bitcoin miners right now.
No, I mean, you like not ones that are actually going to hit. It's like worse odds than hitting the lottery with most of the ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like ones you can run with like a couple watts of power. Nothing crazy.
Why not?
Anyway, let's get back to serial killers disemboweling their victims.
Okay, so another excellent place we already spoke about was wartime. And in the 1990s, Israel admitted that their pathologists were harvesting organs from dead Palestinians. And of course, they were doing it without the consent of anyone, certainly not the Palestinians they were harvesting the organs from, and definitely not from the families of the Palestinians that they were taking the organs from. Now, there was a person who had come forward from the official Israeli Forensic Institute, and they admitted that this was happening, but they claimed that it ended in the 1990s. And they were only forced to admit it after a Swedish newspaper reported that Israel was doing this. And Israel responded by calling the claim anti-Semitic. But then
isn't that awesome? They just have one word. Like anytime anybody criticizes you whatsoever, you're just, that's anti-Semitic. We need a word like that for Badlanders. I don't know what it is.
We should probably come up with something, but
you come up with a word for that.
But so once it people started talking about it, they were like, okay, we did it. But we don't do it anymore. And if you talk about it, it's definitely anti-Semitic. So we can talk about it in our admission of it, but anybody else talking about it, it's persona non grata. You can't do that.
Yeah, wasn't there accusations about some of this stuff going on in Gaza too?
Well, I mean, that's where the Palestinians live, John. I mean, I would imagine
is that the instance you were talking about?
Well, I mean, it could have been Gaza, it could have been the West Bank. I mean, Palestinians were dying in both areas.
I thought you were talking about the 90s still. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
This was the 90s. And
no, I'm talking recently.
Well, what I'm saying is that it wouldn't surprise me. I haven't heard any specific claims recently. But I am skeptical when anyone says, hey, we used to have this endless supply of dead bodies that we would harvest organs from, and then we quit. And now that we still have an endless supply of dead bodies, we're definitely not still harvesting organs because the market exists for this. Now, there was also an Israeli organ trafficking network that was busted in Turkey. Now, this was more recently. This was in the spring of just last year, May of 2024. And this was busted by Turkish police. There were 11 suspects that were detained. There was 5 Israelis, there was 2 Syrians, and they were running a organ harvesting network. And
the Jews.
So what they were doing was they were bringing people in from Syria. Syrian nationals would come in and they would agree to sell one of their kidneys, and they would harvest the kidney and they would end up selling them for $65,000 a piece. Now, it turned out that it connected to a much larger, sprawling global organ trafficking network where they wouldn't just harvest the one kidney. They would deceive people. They would get them to come in under the guise of, potentially selling one kidney or maybe a single cornea or something like that. But once they would get them under their grasp, they would go so far as to, beat people. They would take all of their organs. They had no problem with that. And they were selling them to, again, affluent people in nations all around the world. Not just the kidneys, but everything that they could sell, they would sell. So we're talking about like Azerbaijan, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Brazil.
Question. I have questions. Lots of questions here. So these people would come in and be like, I will sell my kidney to make some money because I've fallen on hard times.
Well, it was Syria. Okay. So like there was a shit going on in Syria, and people would be told that they could sell a single kidney. And
so they would go in.
Yes, they would go
in.
They
would get put under and then just get murdered and taken apart. And
sometimes they would sell a single kidney if they only needed a single kidney. If they get somebody in there and they have a particular blood type, and maybe they need a number of organs, that person just simply might not make it back. I mean, who's going to miss them? It's war-torn Syria.
Well, see, that's the thing I'm thinking. Like, these people are going in, they're probably going to tell, like, if I was going to go in and sell my kidney, I'm probably going to let at least 1 or 2 people, in on that happening so that people would know where to go.
Yeah, it was known, but they had brokers. Okay, that's why they had the 2 Syrian guys that were part of the organ trafficking network. They would go to Syria. They would find people that would be willing to do this. All right, and then, they had, again, basically a limitless supply of bodies. So if they found somebody that they needed and that person wasn't interested in selling their organs, or maybe they thought they would be interested and then they start getting into the deal, maybe they try to back out, they're going to be like, guess what? We're going to take your kidney anyways. Or maybe you're just not going to end up being able to go back to Syria because we need more than just kidneys. And they had people, I mean, it was also going to like the Pacific Islands, like Philippines, even down to Africa. The trafficking of these organs went all around the world. And I would imagine because of the access they had, Syria is not the only war-torn area in 2024. Like you said, Palestine as well. And the case that was admitted to in the 1990s was also connected to the Israeli army. The Israeli army was found to have been kidnapping and murdering Palestinians and then harvesting their organs. And that was out of both Gaza and the West Bank. And those bodies would get returned back to Palestinian families only after all of the organs had been taken. There were Palestinians who came forward and tried to say things, but, again, what are you going to do? You're in occupied Gaza, you're in occupied West Bank, and people really didn't have any recourse. And this organ harvesting network in Turkey connected back to those same people that had been doing it in Israel and in Palestine. So, and it continues. There was also a larger European organ harvesting network that had been discovered to be operating. Well, the people operating it were arrested in Russia, but the man running it was an Israeli Ukrainian by the name of Boris Wolfman. he was found to be the mastermind, like sort of, criminal boss of this organ trafficking scheme. And when he was captured, there was very little attention that was paid to him in Western media. It was certainly reported in Russia because, it was connected directly to Ukraine. And I think it was representative of what they would say they were fighting against there. But nobody really talked about it in Western media. And it's probably because it was going on for many years. And it connected directly to Tel Aviv. It connected directly to Ukraine. It connected directly to these last few cases that I've been talking about. And the people who were getting these organs, again, were wealthy elites. They were wealthy elites, and they were coming from all over the world. And they were able to trace this back, all the way to the mid 80s, at least with this particular organ harvesting network. There was an investigation by the European Parliament, and there was some exposure that was able to be, shown on this. But again, because it was connected directly to Israel, a lot of people did not want anything to do with it because it was considered to be anti-Semitic to even talk about it.
So
which is total bullshit. Total bullshit. All right. All right. So now we've got to get into the darker aspects of it. The same people who would be receiving these organs from the organ harvesting networks, I believe, would be the same people who would be going to Serbia to shoot civilians, would be also the same people getting access to their organs out of the Yellow House in Yugoslavia. Could very easily have been the same people who were making up some of the wealthiest and most elite families in the world. So we're going to go to a Q post now. Post 622 on January 27th of 2018. It's the post.
What was the date?
January 27th of 2018. Okay. Time to play Dopey, and then Black Forest. Dopey is Prince Al-Walid bin Talal. Okay. That was the guy.
Why do we know that?
Because that was his nickname. And President Trump called him Dopey. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, Al-Walid bin Talal was one of the major shareholders in Twitter. During the Saudi purge, he was captured and tortured and handed over a lot of his money to the new Saudi royal family, Prince bin Salman, Mohammed bin Salman. And this post directly addresses him. Now, time to play Dopey, and then Black Forest. What is the Black Forest? The Black Forest is a location as large as Manhattan that was owned by the Rothschilds family in Austria, okay, in the southern part of Austria. Now, what's
Black Forest, Austria?
It was a hunting lodge that was owned by the Rothschilds, an elite Austrian hunting estate. Now, January 27th of 2018, it had been owned by the family for 143 years. On February 2nd of 2018, just a couple of days after this post on the board, the Rothschilds announced that they were selling the Black Forest estate, their elite hunting lodge.
How much did it go for?
Well, it was apparently sold in a fire sale. Reportedly sold for around 90 million euros, about $112 million at the time. Wow. It was a pretty large area, like I said, about the size of Manhattan, and that's
54,000 hectares.
Hectare
Parcel?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck's a hectare?
A hectare is like the metric version of an acre. So you got maybe 2.5 hectares per acre or something like that.
So confusing. Let me just see how many acres that is, because that would be
So yes, January 27th, you have a post for the first time mentioning the Black Forest, also directly pointing to Al-Walid bin Talal, Dopey. And then on February 2nd, just a handful of days later, what, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 7 days later, it is announced as having been sold. There was no announcement prior to this that the Rothschilds had any interest in selling their European hunting estate in Austria that they had owned for 143 years. And for whatever reason, as soon as this post was posted, they suddenly wanted to sell it.
So the implication is that like they felt like they were caught, and so they wanted to get rid of it.
That could definitely be it. They did not want to have it in their possession anymore. Now, on February 5th, okay, so 3 days after it was announced that it was sold, they again mention the Black Forest. And they also begin by suggesting, would POTUS make a serious accusation if the truth wasn't about to come to light? Now, this is in relation to some posts that Donald Trump had made about Adam Schiff. So on February 5th, President Trump had tweeted at Adam Schiff. This is where he called him Little Adam Schiff, who is desperate to run for higher office, is one of the biggest liars and leakers in Washington, right up there with Comey, Warner, Brennan, and Clapper. Adam leaves closed committee hearings to illegally leak confidential information must be stopped. So I think clearly they were aware of what Adam Schiff was doing. Adam Schiff responds by saying, Mr. President,
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Adam Schiff responds by saying, Mr. President, I see you've had a busy morning of executive time. Instead of tweeting false smears, the American people would appreciate it if you turned off the TV and helped solve the funding crisis, protected dreamers, or really anything else. Now, in this graphic here, they also have included a post from 2017, December 10th, 2017. Blunt and direct time. Adam Schiff is a traitor to our country. Leaker, national security, evil, TikTok. Hope the $7.8 million was worth it. Enjoy the show. All right. Now, President Trump, in his public tweet to Adam Schiff, essentially calls him a leaker. He's called him a traitor before. Now, the post for this date, would POTUS make a serious accusation if the truth wasn't about to come to light? Now, in that time span, we have learned that Adam Schiff was conclusively leaking to media, and he was doing exactly what President Trump said. Now, they also mention the Black Forest again. Austria.
Yeah.
Rothschild.
So, but wouldn't you say Q was alluding to like what they were doing at the Rothschild place and not the leaking?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at, right? All right. So,
and I would argue that hasn't really come to light.
It hasn't. I have. Okay. Well,
sorry. Keep going.
We've got multiple layers of messaging here. Okay. All right. So you've got the idea. Would POTUS make a serious accusation if the truth wasn't about to come to light? Now, he mentions Adam Schiff. He talks about him being a leaker. We've got the post from December 10th. All right. So Adam Schiff being a leaker, that's come to light. Now, in the same post, it also mentions once again the Black Forest, Austria, Rothschild, fire sale days after post. Now we ask the question, what went on there? Dopey, you have more than you know. So the insinuation is that whatever was going on there, Dopey was involved. Dopey is brought up with the Black Forest in the first post, and now it is more directly hinted at. But we're also pointing to Adam Schiff. Now, in 665, with a re-embed of post 664 from right there, you have this post again, and it says blunt statement. And then this now ties back to this other post about Adam Schiff, blunt and direct time. So again, more directly tying Adam Schiff to potentially what could have happened at the Black Forest, along with Dopey Prince Al-Walid bin Talal.
Okay.
All right.
Only
now,
slightly lost, but I think I'm tracking.
Okay. So yeah, it's not a direct line, but we're drawing inferences from themes and subjects that are included in these posts at the same time.
Is this my first decode?
I guess it is. Yeah.
You were popping my decode cherry. This is amazing.
All right. Now, post 666. Why did the memo drop a Friday and before the SB? I don't remember what SB is. I'd have to get back into this. Does that seem strange to you? Watch the news, and then they mention again Rothschild
Super Bowl,
estate
maybe?
sale. Oh, yeah, before the Super Bowl. Okay.
Look at that.
Watch the news. There you go. Rothschild estate sale, Black Forest. We only learned about the estate sale from that obscure article, which mentioned it. And hold on, let me, right here. This was in Mansion Global, not a publication that most people are going to be reading.
Hey, that's
All
the
right.
link I just pulled up when I looked.
Okay, it's because it was the only one that mentioned it at the time. It was totally, it was hidden. All right. Now, at this time, go back to stock market dive, 666 coincidence. I believe that the stock market had dropped by exactly 666 points. And they ask if it's a coincidence. Well, no. Soros transfer.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking.
No, it definitely wasn't a coincidence. This was an attempt to send a message right after Q had posted about Dopey and the Black Forest. Okay, they sell the estate and then they tank the stock market, essentially saying, you mess with us and we're going to mess with you. Dopey freed. Now, Dopey was freed because he was wrapped up in the Saudi purge. They could have killed him. They could have taken everything, but they forced him to give them just enough and leave him enough so that he is alive. Now, one of those divestitures was Twitter itself. Now, marriage for power, not love. Hilton.
Ash in the chat says, John is now the Lorax of Q. He speaks for the Rees. So good. So good, Ash. That was top notch.
Okay, so marriage for power, not love. Hilton and Rothschild. One of the Hilton sisters married a Rothschild.
That was for love, though, clearly.
Okay. And then Soros Clinton. So who is with Clinton? That would be Huma Abedin. And Alex Soros just married Huma Abedin. So that is a marriage of the Soros and Clinton clans. Now, I am pretty certain that in 2018, they had not gotten together yet.
I don't know. I'm not up to date on my deep state love triangles.
So they said, et cetera, news unlocks, map, think mirror, which team, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but the Black Forest is really what we're looking at here. There is one more post with Black Forest in it, and it's the follow-up to 666. And they say, signal to POTUS, they control the market. Signal, threat, welcome to the global war. Okay, so this is, again, pointing to the fact that they did this on purpose because we were onto something with this post about the Black Forest. Now, there have been a number of specific whistleblowers who came forward and talked about these elite European hunting parties where children, humans, were hunted for sport. There was an international common law court of justice in Brussels. Okay. This is a non-criminal court. It's not attached to any particular government, but it was essentially an opportunity for whistleblowers to come forward and talk about what they had experienced. There were 5 international judges, and in this international common law court of justice in Brussels that convened, they were specifically examining evidence surrounding child rape, torture, murder, kidnapping, all of it having been done by members of the global elite. And they also point to a satanic sacrifice network called the Ninth Circle. So this Ninth Circle is alleged to have taken children, sacrificed them, and then placed their bodies in catacombs in the Vatican on private estates.
Escalated quickly.
It did escalate quickly. And in different areas that were controlled by governments of Belgium, Holland, Spain, Australia, Ireland, France, England, and there are also at least 34 different child mass grave sites that have been identified in Ireland, Spain, and Canada. Now, the governments, even though those areas were determined to be mass graves of children, the governments of Ireland, Spain, and Canada refused excavation. Each one of these governments refused to excavate, whether it was the Crown of England. Well, in Canada, I can specifically say that it was claimed that these were native children. Okay. And these mass graves had been from these like preparatory schools where these kids were sent. And yes, there was atrocities, but now they're already in the ground, so we're not going to take them.
Mostly peaceful atrocities.
Yeah, mostly peaceful atrocities. In Ireland, they could have said that it was connected to the atrocities of the British government, and the same thing with Canada. Spain, could have been related to Franco or something like that. But for whatever reason, they didn't want to dig those kids up. And I would say it's probably because all of these mass grave sites are related to likely this elite global hunting cabal, which is all the same. Like this group of people is no different from the other groups of elites that are committing crimes and heinous activities all around the world.
Is the hunting like that prevalent? Like that many graves?
Well, there was this, a conspiracy that we talked about one time called the Dutroux affair. And the Dutroux affair, Dutroux was one guy that was involved with this elite European group that was running children. They were pedophiles. It was a network, but they would also hunt children. Okay. Now it was done in the European countryside. The kids didn't know where it was. The ones who got out didn't know where it was. But it is theoretical and perhaps plausible that, it could have easily been done at the Rothschild Black Forest estate. There's a lot of countrysides out there. There's a lot of wealthy people, especially in Europe. You've got people who have generational wealth. And you've also got vast groups of people around the world who, what's going on? John is gone. He's gone. Okay. He's back.
I hit to hit back on a different tab. So I'm trying to figure out where they said that mansion was sold at again. Austria.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that like, were they found near there? Like, why did they think it was that place?
Well, because Q posted about it specifically, and there have been so many different instances of people coming forward. I mean, like I was going to go into some of this witness testimony. Okay. So one of these witnesses that spoke and testified before this court said, in 2004, I was an involuntary witness to torture, rape, and murder sessions of drugged children performed by a group of high-ranking people of the Netherlands. I was taken to a hunting party in Belgium, close to Brussels, where I saw 2 boys and a girl, ages 14 and 16, hunted and killed by global elites. The human hunting party was heavily guarded by the Netherlands Royal Guards. I was told that King Albert of Belgium was present. Now, this particular story, in my opinion, would connect directly to the same group of elite pedophiles that were part of the Dutroux affair. And I've said this before, but I mean, these types of people don't exist in a vacuum, right? I mean, like, you're going to have like satellite networks of individuals who are more comfortable with certain people. And then you're also going to have these people, when they travel, they're going to hook up with larger groups and people who are operating in different countries.
Yeah, I get that.
It's not like everybody is, hunting kids at the exact same time. I mean, I think that when you get to a certain level like this, these people don't get pleasure from the normal things that, like, you and I, I mean, like, maybe we might go hunting or something like that. You take down an elk and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then you butcher the elk. Maybe you get the head mounted and you got a great story to tell. But these people have already done everything that there is to do. And they're also raised in an environment where a normal childhood is not something that you experience. I mean, you are being raised in an environment where people are being mentally broken down and then abused. They're engaging in satanic ritual abuse. They are engaging in MK Ultra mind control programming. And I mean, this is just their lives. So they grow up in an environment like that, and then they grow up to do the exact thing that was done to them as a child.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm just saying when I made the comment about like, is it really that prevalent? Like, is it?
I'd say it is.
I mean, we're talking about mass graves all over the place that, are being attributed to this. I mean, talk about how often they would have to do these hunting parties. I just feel like that story would have gotten out by now in a much more.
Let me tell you something, John. In 2012, okay, so 13 years ago, the estimate was that every single year, 8 million children go missing and are never found.
Man, and maybe I'm just having a hard time conceptualizing that, because in my own experience with my own kids, like I would never stop looking. Like I would make that such a big deal. But that just seems 8 million. I feel like there'd be more parents out there yelling and screaming for their kids.
So I think that there are plenty of parents out there who do look for their children. And I think that there is enough power and influence at play that parents can be stymied. They can be stalled at a certain point. I mean, like, do you remember the Johnny Gosh story that we talked about on here?
A little bit vaguely.
Yeah, Noreen Gosh. She never stopped looking for her son. Okay. And she connected his disappearance to that pedophile group that was operating out of the Midwest. I mean, that was connected to Boys Town. That was connected to Larry King. That was connected to the White House callboy scandal. I mean, it crossed states. I mean, it was all across the country. And then those people were connected to other pedophile groups that we talked about. I mean, it is everywhere. And the people who do it are some of the most powerful people on the face of the planet. So, I mean, they have the ability to make investigations go cold. They have the ability for people to disappear and to never be found. I mean, 8 million children a year, 13 years ago, is a staggering number of people.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, that's just like gone. Boom.
Which is why I'm like, how, if it's hunting party, I mean, it's just, I understand trafficking. I'm not trying to deny trafficking and all that stuff. The bad stuff exists. I'm just playing devil's advocate, as I'm supposed to on the show, with the hunting party aspect of it. That I'm a little more. I feel like the hunting aspect of it is not as prevalent as just the trafficking generally.
Oh no! I mean, well, what are they supposed to do after they've like raped and tortured kids? I mean, they're just gonna continue to feed them after they're broken, and I mean, they send them off into the woods and then they chase them and then they shoot and kill them.
I guess I don't know what they do. I've never been to one of those parties.
Well, right. I mean, like a normal person doesn't really consider that sort of thing. I mean, it's just, I mean, you just consider the idea that 13 years ago, the average was 8 million children a year that just go missing.
Yeah.
What happens to those kids? I mean, either they end up in an oven and they get reduced to ashes, or they get thrown in a mass grave, or even worse. I mean, maybe they're consumed. I mean, you think about during the 4 years of the Biden years, hundreds of thousands of children got shuttled across the border, and then they just go missing into the interior of the country. They were put into the hands of known pedophiles and sex offenders.
Yeah.
I mean, they found a couple, 10, 20,000 of those kids.
I have no idea how many they found.
Well, I'm telling you, I mean, they haven't found many of them. Where are those kids now?
That's a great question, man.
I mean, they've just disappeared along with the other 8 million or so. I have no idea how many it is to this day. I mean, I don't know that they're actively tracking that or reporting on that anymore, because, I mean, with the speed of information flow and also stuff like this being revealed, I mean, people start to talk. All right. Now, you might ask, why do they even allow people to survive, to, come forward and talk about this? Well, I mean, there are some of these kids, when they're able to successfully withstand the mental and physical torture that they go through, they're considered candidates to be brought into the actual pedophile and child trafficking network itself. Because, the entire goal of the MK Ultra programming is to break down someone's psyche, to make them essentially controllable. And they'll do that to turn them into sex slaves. They'll do that to turn them into honeypots. They'll do that to turn them into assassins. They'll do that to turn them into workers, people who are also going to then go out and find more kids that are going to be able to brought in. These people have an insatiable desire to continue feeding these sick hungers that they have.
Yeah.
So they had this exact same common law court. There were 4 other witnesses that confirmed when they were children, they were forced to actually attend these human hunting parties, and they and other children that were present were raped. Some of them were killed. The bodies of the boys that were killed were mutilated. I won't say specifically how, but I'm sure that you can imagine how they might have been mutilated. This was in the Netherlands, in the Dutch countryside, and pieces of their bodies were displayed like trophies on the wall. And the hunting parties in the Netherlands were hosted on the grounds of the Belgian Queen Beatrix's palace. Now, a Dutch therapist named Toos Niehaus, probably not saying that correctly, she claimed that as a 4-year-old, she was also forced to witness the murders of children. This implicated Pope Ratzinger, who was the Pope before the last guy, the Venezuelan Pope or whatever, the commie, and a Catholic cardinal, a Dutch Catholic cardinal, and the father of Queen Beatrix, the father of the Queen of the Netherlands, Queen Beatrix, also happened to be the founder of the Bilderberg Group, Dutch Crown Prince Alfred Bernhard. He was also involved. And she said, I saw the former Pope Joseph Ratzinger murder a little girl. It was at a French chateau in the fall of 1987. It was ugly, horrible.
There's a witness for that, you're saying.
It's a witness. Yes. It was ugly, horrible, and didn't just happen once. Ratzinger and Bernhard were some of the more prominent men who took part. In Ireland, Spain, and Canada, these 34 child mass grave sites that were discovered appeared to be linked to this satanic group, the Ninth Circle. The largest was at the Mohawk Indian Residential School in Brantford, Ontario. Child remains were identified in 2008, and the Catholic Church, the Canadian government, and the English Crown shut down the dig, which was being run by professional archaeologists. The Belgian royal family was also alleged to have been involved in this. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were found to have been involved in the disappearance in 1964 of 10 native children from the Catholic residential school in Kamloops, British Columbia. And the Dutch and Belgian royal family was alleged to have participated in the rape and killing of Mohawk children and newborns. That was in Holland. It just goes on and on. There's a ton of specific instances of people claiming that they were involved in this specifically. Now, before we conclude, we should also mention a couple of pieces from the stories of Kathy O'Brien and Fiona Barnett. Kathy O'Brien had a number of prominent American politicians who she claims were directly involved in her torture. One of those people was Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney also, Kathy O'Brien had claimed, was specifically involved with hunting both her and her daughter. So Dick Cheney, she says, was acting in the capacity as like a superior in her MK Ultra programming. He was like her commander, she said. So he was Secretary of Defense. And he was, of course, directing politics inside the White House at this time. And he ended up, of course, becoming the vice president of the United States. But she said she was introduced to Dick Cheney in the summer of 1975 at his Wyoming hunting lodge, where he would engage in the sport of human hunting. They would do military exercises there, and he would hang out with George Bush Sr. They were friends. Bill Clinton.
What was the name of this witness?
This is Kathy O'Brien. Kathy O'Brien is one of the, she is one of the most famous MK Ultra survivors. You know, in addition to being tortured and sexually abused and, you know, having all of this terrible stuff to happen to her, she claimed that she was specifically hunted during an exercise with Dick Cheney. And she also claims that he was involved in the rape of both her and her daughter.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there.
Go ahead.
As the devil's advocate position I'm supposed to be taking on these shows, okay?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever considered that the survivors of MK Ultra are just pushing MK Ultra narratives?
Or perhaps their brains are so broken from the torture that they've been inflicted that they could have had false memories implanted in their heads.
Yeah.
Might not have been Dick Cheney at all. Might have been, you know, somebody else that did it to her.
Because, I mean, again, devil's advocate.
Yep.
And, you know, from the position I always take that you shouldn't really trust anybody and anything what they say. If I'm the CIA, MK Ultra, they've killed people for less than going out there and like leaking information about their MK Ultra program and all the pedophilia stuff and the rape and like all the stories that she's telling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just asking some questions here. You know, has she presented like evidence to back up the claims?
Oh, no. I mean, all she has is her firsthand witness testimony, of course.
Well, and here's my comment on that is I know from firsthand experience that people will just make stuff up and lie, even in legal documents, and it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need the sauce.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about Fiona Barnett. Okay. Fiona Barnett is Australian. And Fiona Barnett is a longtime researcher and investigator. She herself also claims that she was sexually abused as part of an elite pedophile ring. Now, in Australia, there was an actual royal commission into institutional responses to child sexual abuse. And she provided testimony and a statement and a fairly extensive list of experiences that she was put through. She was part of what she calls the Tweedshire pedophile ring, and she was given a official time to present her documentation supporting her allegations. I don't have all of Fiona Barnett's evidence here, but this was in New South Wales, Australia, and one of the people that she claims was instrumental in her sexual abuse was Anthony Kidman, the father of Nicole Kidman. Okay. Now, her claims about Anthony Kidman became public in 2014. Almost as soon as Fiona Barnett made the public claim about Anthony Kidman to the official government inquiry into child sexual abuse, Anthony Kidman fled the country of Australia and left for Singapore. Okay. 1 month later, Anthony Kidman was dead under mysterious circumstances. Okay. Now, his official cause of death has later been claimed to have been a heart attack. However, initially, it was suggested that there was a tragic accident and Anthony Kidman was no longer with us. Now, Anthony Kidman was a psychiatrist. He was fairly prominent in Australia, and he was part of this Sydney-based pedophile ring that Fiona Barnett said she was a victim of until she was 15 years old. Now, what is undisputed about Anthony Kidman is that he was under investigation by the New South Wales Healthcare Complaints Commission at the time of his death, the Psychology Council of New South Wales, and this Royal Commission into the Institutional Responses to Child Abuse, to which Fiona Barnett presented evidence and testified to. Now, Fiona Barnett had been reporting Anthony Kidman's abuse of her since 1986. She had reported it to other healthcare professionals. She had reported it to police. None of these people that Fiona Barnett reported her sexual abuse at the hands of Anthony Kidman had ever reported it to anybody else. All of these people are mandatory reporters in the same way they are here in the United States. If you report that you are being sexually abused, those people have a professional and ethical duty to report it as well. Now, in 2008, she reported Anthony Kidman's involvement in this pedophile ring to the New South Wales Police, specifically Detective Justin Hadley. He was the man that she reported it to, never did anything with it. In 2013, she reported him, Anthony Kidman, to the Royal Commission in a private hearing in Brisbane where she testified. And then again in 2013, she reported this to the New South Wales Victims of Crime. She made an application to try to have him prosecuted. She named not only Anthony Kidman, but other perpetrators who were part of this elite pedophile group in Sydney. Now, the New South Wales Victims of Crime subpoenaed medical records and other documents over the last 20 years to determine how probable it was that Fiona Barnett was a victim of a crime and Anthony Kidman had been the perpetrator. So, on August 7th of 2014, at the suggestion of the New South Wales Victims of Crime, the psychologist that had been appointed to her through this organization, she notified the Australian Health Practitioners Regulation Agency and another Australian health group. It's called the HCCC. I don't know what it stands for. So then the HCCC and the Psychology Council of New South Wales notified Fiona Barnett that they were investigating her complaints against Kidman. He runs. He leaves the country. He runs to Singapore. And then a month later, he's dead. Okay. So there was an there was the official investigation into Anthony Kidman, but once he was dead, obviously they stopped looking. It was just dropped. And you know, I mean, all we have again in Fiona Barnett's instance is her many years of reporting the same individuals as having abused her. And then he is suddenly dead after it becomes public and official investigations begin to take place. Now, Anthony Kidman, as the father of Nicole Kidman, okay, he's definitely connected to some powerful people. He was a well-known figure in the Australian psychotherapy scene. And, you know, I find it highly improbable that he just suddenly expires in the midst of all of these investigations. Could have easily been that Anthony Kidman was becoming a weak link and he was removed from the situation. Or it could have been that he felt the pressure and he knew that the walls were closing in and he decided to end his own life. But due to the secrecy surrounding the exact circumstances of his death, we will never know.
What the hell? How long ago did he die?
2014.
I mean, fishy. Yeah.
Certainly fishy.
I don't know, man. How do you spell his last name? Kidman? Just like Nicole Kidman.
Like Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Should have looked him up while you were talking. I'm gonna find a picture of him. Was this guy
So
like an actor
Nicole
or anything
Kidman,
too?
Nicole Kidman was in Eyes Wide Shut. Fiona Barnett wrote a book called Eyes Wide Open.
Interesting. I get it. I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's also interesting is that Nicole Kidman, when she married Tom Cruise, she said that it was to stop herself from being sexually abused in Hollywood. Because
why would marrying Tom Cruise stop that? Like,
because he was Hollywood royalty, and she
so
was
that'll
off
be pleasure.
limits once she belonged to Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
And then,
is
of course, there's
interesting.
a whole conspiracy about what was really going on with Eyes Wide Shut. But that's for another show.
Nicole Kidman's sister is an Australian journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep.
Maybe we should do another show on that. Maybe we can do that next week, unless there's another topic that you.
Yeah, we could. I could maybe follow up with Eyes Wide Shut. Sure.
All right. Is there anything else you want to go into on this? I mean,
No, I think that's it. You know, I don't have any hard evidence for Kathy O'Brien. You know, I mean, and even, you know, everything that I've presented for Fiona Barnett. I mean, you know, I do have like drawings that she did of herself being tortured and some of the ritualistic MK Ultra stuff that she was going through. It's, you know, it's fairly simple, but it is still disturbing. I don't know if you want to, maybe I'll save that for next week. How about that?
yeah, with the Kathy O'Brien stuff too. Like, I'm not trying to shit on anybody. I'm just asking the skeptics questions, as we all should, to anybody.
Yeah.
And I honestly just haven't watched any of her stuff, and maybe that's some of my own fault. But just generally on the topic of people like that, when that's your background story, I'm gonna have questions. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
Kathy
Eyes Wide Shut would be a good
O'Brien,
one.
she came forward many years ago and did like a 2-hour basically sit down where she was where she talked about the abuse, and she, you know, the Clintons are involved. There's just a whole bunch of different people. And it's kind of crazy. I was actually going to watch her testimony on my channel, like as like a Rumble Premium stream or something like that. So
is Eyes Wide Shut? Is that a movie I should watch before next week then?
yes, I think you should watch it. Yeah.
Is it a good movie?
It is a good movie, but it has to do with all of this stuff. It's Stanley Kubrick's last movie. Well, I don't want to get into it but you watch the movie, and then next week we'll talk about what happened.
Should we watch the trailer?
Sure.
Okay, and then we can get to the boosts and the rants. I'm just curious. YouTube, Eyes Wide Shut. Or maybe we could do the Eyes Wide Shut as our outro. How's that for the trailer?
Okay, that'll work.
If I can find a trailer.
So, CN Stewart, Kathy does not talk about her abuse anymore. I've had her as a guest on my show. She's talked about this for decades. She's not interested in reliving it anymore. Definitely don't watch it with your kids. It's not a movie for kids.
Okay, good to know. I didn't think so. Typically stick to the cartoons with them. But all right, we do have a couple boosts here. 1027JS says, looking forward to part 3 for $20. Thank you, Joe. My fellow North Dakotan. Hope you are staying warm. Rocky Top Apologist for $10 says, all the attention y'all are giving Emerald makes me want to say, make Patrick Byrne great again. Yeah. I'm not giving her attention. If I'm giving her attention, it's the negative kind. But I guess bad attention is just as good attention. That is all the boosts. I'm going to play a quick spot for our tallow bar from Soft Disclosure, and then we'll get into the rants. So stick with us, guys, and hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet.
John,
before Stink.
What?
Kathy also wrote a book called Transformation. She's written a couple of books, but Transformation is largely her story. So I don't know if you want to get a copy of it. I've got a copy of it. I'd let you borrow it if you want.
Yeah, can you fax me it over? Okay. Yeah, I will check that out though. I'll look into it, guys.
Okay.
Before skincare went synthetic, people used something simple, something real. Tallow. Grass-fed and finished beef tallow is packed with vitamins A, D, E, and K. Nutrients your skin actually knows what to do with. It locks in moisture, restores elasticity, and defends against winter dryness. No water, no preservatives, and no BS. Unlike plant oils or chemical creams, tallow mimics your skin's own structure. Elbows, hands, knees, post-shave, anywhere your skin's crying for real moisture. Perfect for gifting or keeping your own skin soft when the cold hits. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Badlands for 15% off. Ancient care, modern truth.
Soft disclosure. Soft disclosure, guys.
So, you know what? I think maybe we should watch the trailer for the film about Kathy O'Brien. How about that?
Well, we can do that as our outro.
Yeah, we'll do that as the outro. Let me pull this up. If you guys want to see it, I think, who was it that dropped it in the chat?
Well, I still got some rants yet.
Oh, okay. Boom Diggity, thank you for dropping the trailer.
All right. Susie Q20 says, got a flat tire in Baker, Death Valley. It was 130 degrees. The jack sunk into the blacktop highway. Freaky experience. That's nuts. Happy that you are here to rant us this story and that you didn't get disemboweled. Not everybody that gets stranded in Baker dies and gets disemboweled. That's good to know. Susie Q20, Wyoming had a sting with truckers. 38 out of 40 drivers were illegal.
Yeah,
that is insane. Keith Huggins, it sounds like a relationship with Peruvian Pablo will make a girl go to pieces. Keith Huggins, John, where on the Pepe the Frog doll did Q touch you first? I feel like it, based on the New York Times and the NPR, I am the Q doll, right? Wouldn't I be the Lorax of Q?
You would be more like the puppet master.
Oh yeah, there we go. I'll take that. Miss Rhea Freedom Fighter. This guy is a great follow on X with respect to the fake mass graves.
Oh, okay.
Jim McCurdy. Check that out. Thank you, Miss Rhea Freedom Fighter. Never heard of him.
Now, I don't know which fake mass graves he's talking about, but I can verify that these mass graves that I was talking about are actually real because they have been reported on outside of their discussion when it comes to possible hunting of children. It's been acknowledged that these mass graves are real.
All right. Eden's Refuge. Think of how many junkies sell their kids. That's a good point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those. Kimmelten. There was a TV show in 1970 about a guy with a blood type that prevented him from aging. Elites were always chasing him for his blood. Predictive programming for sure. It was called The Immortal. Have you ever seen the was it Maze Trial or Maze Runner or whatever?
Yeah, I've heard of the Maze Runner. I've never actually seen the movies though.
Oh, it's interesting because you by the time you get can I ruin it for you?
Sure, go ahead.
But it is worth watching. You know what? I think you should watch it.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest a movie series to you because there's 3 of them. They're on one of the platforms, but I used to love that show growing up, or back when it first came out. But anyway, there is some adrenochrome type, illusions there. You can kind of see where they're getting at. It made me think of that. So I'd encourage you guys to watch it if you haven't. And it's a pretty good show. Ramble on 365, Eyes Wide Shut, watch along. Yeah, we're going to watch a trailer. Or actually, we're probably not going to watch a trailer, but we're going to talk about it next week. Keith Higgins, part 3 of the series could include Mike Benz's new reveal on the Safari Club in Kenya. He rips the Band-Aid of USAID funding and CIA plays. Mike Benz does some great work, no doubt. No doubt. And I think with that, we can watch. This is the trailer for the Kathy O'Brien movie?
Yes.
Okay. We'll watch this and get you guys out of here.
Can you add that? For some reason, when I click stuff. Okay, there it goes. Okay.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your night. Hit the thumbs up. See you tomorrow on Daily Herald, 1 p.m. Eastern. You gonna press play?
Oh, God, it's not working.
There we go.
Can you see it now?
My name is Kathy O'Brien, and I'm a survivor of MK Ultra mind control. The MK Ultra program was to ultimately control the minds of the population for implementing what Adolf Hitler first termed the New World Order. When girls reached age 30, they were murdered or they were sacrificed. I was going to be killed as well. I was to go out in a blaze of glory and be burned alive. I'm so fortunate that an intelligence insider who saw the kind of corruption that was going on in the highest levels of government decided to take action and rescued me and saved my life so that we could begin to expose what was being done.